So 15 years ago, I'm standing at Warsaw International Airport with my wife, and we're both about to check in 2 suitcases each, into which we managed to pack all our lives and head off around the world to begin our new life here in Australia. Now mind, this is February in Poland, so when we walked on the airport, we had big puffy winter jackets that we decided to leave at the airport. We stashed them behind one of the benches because we would never need them again. And when we arrived in Australia 2 days later, it was plus 40. That's February 2006, so 15 years ago. It was a big moment for me. I was working for it for many years. I was preparing for it for months. When we arrived, we didn't know anyone. We had nothing really. And within first week, we had a place to stay. I began my studies at Monash. I was doing PhD, and Kate was slowly looking for a job for herself. So that's how we are here. Now, from that moment on, it's a weird ride, because it took me a few years of wearing a lab coat and looking at the tired faces of my fellow researchers, and I realized I don't really want to do that. Let me see what else I can do. And I looked into what I used as a way of artistic expression, my hobby, to distress, and I realized, why don't I use a camera? Why don't I figure out how to use that to do what I do? And with no regrets, I had my first mind shift moment. It's a mind shift moment with this holy shit moment, which combined together, that's your holy shift moment, right? When you have that moment where you know exactly, I need to change. Something needs to change because I'm not going to be happy doing that. And I was happy. 10 years later, I'm still kind of doing what I was doing then. I realized that I'm helping people celebrate what they really value in life. I helped businesses become trusted and really expand, all through my photography. And a year ago this time, we're waiting to welcome my son to arrive to this world. So it was a very excited time for us, and I was planning to have March off anyway. And if you know what happened in March, apart from nowhere to find toilet paper or nappies, which is a perfect time to have a baby, we came back home to be locked in with the first lockdown that Melbourne had. And we kind of enjoyed it because, I wasn't planning to work anyway. And this was the time where we could really spend time on him. Keep looking at him, feed him every 2 hours. No, the world didn't exist. But then I realized that, wait, I cannot work, I cannot make income. All my plans are being destroyed, or my ambitions are being decapitated. What happens next if they put us in another lockdown? So I had another holy shift moment, and I realized I had to change. I had to do something else. Now, with new responsibilities in this world, with entering this new phase of my life, I needed to make sure I'm ready for something different. And I needed to reevaluate my priorities, what really mattered, what I want to do, how I want to do it, and everything else. So, as any parent can attest, it's all about the babies, right? It's all about the kids, no matter how big and small they are. So I knew everything has to revolve around him. And for him to be happy, I needed to make sure I can take over and let my wife decide what she wants to do, because I knew she would decide to stay with the baby. So that was my goal, to make sure I can do that. But to do that, I had to figure out how I can bring value to more people so they pay me more, so I can spend more time and do the things I want. And it's not about getting a job, it's creating value for other people. And I spent the whole section between lockdowns and the second lockdown studying, researching, really committed to change. I was so committed to change that I was spending more time in the office inside the lockdown, where we couldn't get out from the house, where I couldn't work. I was spending way more time in the office at that period of time than I ever did when I still had client work. And I came out from the office, came out from the second lockdown, not a photographer anymore. And that was a huge transformation for me. I had to learn how to delegate, how to not use a camera myself anymore. I found people who are way better at using the camera than me. I found people who are better than inputting what I create through my vision better than I would ever do it. And this way I know I can scale. But the key to that was finding that little toggle on the back of the camera that switches from between stills and video mode. I realized that video combines what I knew about photography with really persuasive words, but also with emotive music. And you can put into a story and you can build hundreds of different types of videos that help organizations on many levels. And when I realized that, when I came up with a plan, when I figured out the vision, the strategy, everything I wanted to do for my clients, I knew I can bring them so much value that I won't be able to keep up with it doing myself. So I decided to hire a team. So now I have a crew. I have people that do things better than I do, that are as passionate about their little thing that I can just delegate to them. You take up, you worry about this. Let me worry about something else. Let me bring you all together under one vision. And this way, I am now a different person, because I went into the lockdown as a photographer, and I came out a really mature business person that can translate what my scientific brain analyzes, what my imagination comes out in visual way. I can translate it into something that really brings value. And that's what it comes down to, because I want to extract value for my clients so they pay me enough so I can have my life, have my family time. And that's a new me. And this is my new venture. Thank you so much.